The B-17 bomber was more than just an aircraft. It was a symbol of air power during World War II. The B-17, fondly known as the Flying Fortress, was introduced in 1935 by Boeing after various prototypes like the Model 299 and YB-17 were made. It became a crucial asset for the U.S. Army Air Force from 1941 to 1945. The B-17 could withstand damage, but that was not always the case. As the war developed for the Americans against the Germans discovered that a certain number of 20mm rounds, when fired from the rear more so than from the front, could take down B-17s. Additionally, B-17s were susceptible to anti-aircraft fire whenever they approached well-defended targets of opportunity. And early in the war, when they flew without fighter escorts, they risked receiving numerous hits from either the ground or the air, which meant they could get shot down more easily. Some crews managed to get out when their B-17s were shot and on the verge of crashing, but others were not so fortunate. The B-17 flew at a speed of around 287 miles per hour and could reach flying a range of 2,000 miles. At the same time, it could also fly between 25,000 to 35,000 feet in the air. Following major losses to bombers from Operation Point Blank in 1943, it became apparent that bombers needed fighter support on their missions. Therefore, to fix the problem in the loss of B-17s, fighter escorts were introduced to help reduce the number of B-17 losses, though time was needed for this to work sufficiently. This bomber had the ability to strike deep into enemy territory. And its impressive payload? It could hold up to 8,000 pounds of bombs, capable of being dropped on various targets within a limited range or selected area. The accuracy of hitting the target was improved on for B-17 crews thanks to the introduction of the Norden bombsight. The B-17 was also armed with at least 13.50 caliber machine guns spread throughout the aircraft, and it provided a formidable defense against enemy fighters. But it wasn't just its firepower that made it legendary. It was the crew of 10 brave souls on board to operate it. Each had a vital role: pilot, co-pilot, bombardier, navigator, radio operator, and the gunners. In combat during World War II, the B-17 was pivotal in daylight precision bombing campaigns over Europe, targeting factories, railways, and oil refineries. The B-17 was also at work in other theaters of combat during the war beyond the scope of Europe. The Flying Fortress wasn't just a plane, it was a bomber that shaped the course to come for military aviation.